Hello everyone, I am Mohammad Kamran Halil with another paper from May-June 2025 series for the A levels. So this is the paper 9702 variant 1-2. So without any delay, I will start explaining this paper, that how I have solved this paper. Question number 1, that what must all physical quantity have? Every physical quantity must have two things. Number one, the magnitude, and number two is the unit. For example, if I will write down 2 meter, then it will be its magnitude and then it will be its unit. So for question number one, option D is the valid option. Now question number two is related with the conversion. He is saying that what is the 0.25 kilo Newton millimeter square expressed in Newton per meter square. So kilo will be replaced by the 1000, then millimeter square will be in the reciprocal, and 1 millimeter contain 10 raised power minus 3, and then there is a square. So after that solving, we will get 250 into 10 raised power 6. So option D will be matched. Then question number 3, our student calculates the density of the solid steel cube. Now for the cube, the volume is L cube, which is represented by V that is equal to L power 3. The measured mass is this and the measured length is this, with the uncertainty what is the density of the steel. Now the density is required along with its uncertainty. So mass is given in gram and then the other thing is given in millimeter. So gram is always related with the centimeter. So this is a tricky part related with this question. So you have to convert millimeter into centimeter. So 50 divided by 10 will give you 5. Now you can solve this question now because all the units are in the same formation. Gram related with the centimeter, kilogram is related with the meter. Now the volume is 125. Then the density which we will measure will be 975 over 125. That will give you 7.8. So 7.8 is available in all the options. Then we will calculate the uncertainty. Delta rho over rho, that is equal to delta m over m plus 3 into delta L over L. Why there is a 3 which I have multiplied with this? Because 3 is in the power. So 3 will be in the beginning of the expression. After that, I will calculate the values by substituting all the uncertainties. Now I will not consider the uncertainty which is 1 millimeter. I will consider the uncertainty which is in the centimeter. So this is the most tricky part for this question. So L that is equal to 5 plus minus 0.1, and after that I will substitute the values. Then delta rho over rho is equal to 0.0707 into 100, and the value of the delta rho, the uncertainty is 7.0%. So option B is the valid option. So this is a bit challenging question. So the time period of the pendulum is given by T, that is equal to 2 pi L over G raised power n. So now I will make this expression, and after that when I will make this expression in this form, so I will make time unit will be replaced by the second, 2 pi as it is. Now length power n and G power n. So I will rearrange all these equations, substitute the units, and then at the end ultimately I will get n equal to 1 by 2. So this is not a difficult question related with this. Then the other question, that radio waves can be used. This question was repeated in the paper 1-1, variant 1-1 as well. So radio waves can be used to measure the distance between Earth and planet Jupiter. A pulse of radio wave is emitted from the surface of Earth. The pulse reflects from the surface of the Jupiter and is detected again on the Earth. So 2 times distance will be traveled, and simple we will apply the formula V that is equal to 2s by t. The values are given. The velocity for the waves, radio wave is 3.0 into 10 power 8. Then we will apply the formula and we will get the answer. The graph shows the variation with the time t of the velocity of the car. Which statement is correct? So if you will calculate the acceleration is 2 seconds, then stop for 4 seconds. The car accelerates for 2 seconds, then stop. This is not the stop formation for the VT graph. If the graph is related with the distance time graph, then this will show that the car is at rest, but it is moving from this particular time at a constant velocity. The car accelerates at 12 meter per second for 2 seconds. Now you can calculate the acceleration 12 divided by 2. So you will get answer which is equal to 6. So option B is invalid. Option A is invalid. Then we will calculate the distance traveled by the car in the first 4 seconds, and we will apply the formula 1 by 2, 4 plus 2, the area of the trapezium. Then we will get 36. So option C is the valid option. Now this question contain a bit understanding related with the forces. A solid object of mass 1 kg falls vertically downward in a vacuum. So the weight of the object will be this. When the speed of the object is 60 meter per second, an additional constant force 50 Newton suddenly starts to act vertically upward. Now one force is acting in downward direction, that is weight, and one force is acting in upward direction, that is suddenly appears in upward direction. So weight, we will calculate the weight 9.81 into 1, and one force is 9.81 Newton, other force is 50 Newton. So resultant force will be calculated 40.19, and it will act in the opposite direction of the motion. So what we will do, we will replace the negative sign, so minus 40.19. After that, what is required? The speed of object 2 seconds after the additional force starts to act. So now we will apply the formula F equal to m, and then A equal to F over m, because acceleration for the value is not given. So force over mass will give you the acceleration, and then the value is 40.19. Apply the formula V equal to U plus AT. So the initial velocity which is given 60, and then it is acting in the upper direction going against the gravity. So the negative sign will be here, and then we will get 20.38. So ignore the negative sign, you will get your destination option A. Stone is thrown vertically upward and follow a curve path. Projectile motion related question. Air resistance is negligible. So why does the path have a particular shape, parabolic shape? Why this shape is the parabolic? The stone has a constant horizontal acceleration. The velocity along the horizontal path will be constant. So acceleration will be 0. So option A is invalid. The stone has a constant horizontal velocity and constant vertical acceleration. Why vertical acceleration is constant? Because air resistance is negligible. So there will be no change in the acceleration. So option B is the valid option. Now question number 9. A rocket engine ejects 90 kg of exhaust gas per second at a velocity of this. And what is the force acting? So you will apply the formula. Force is rate of change of momentum, and change in momentum is m into v over t. So you will get your answer 17100. So it will turn into divided by 1000. You will get option B. Question number 10. Which statement does not describe an inelastic collision? So for inelastic collision between the two objects, the relative speed of approach, this is incorrect option. Total kinetic energy will be conserved. The total kinetic energy of the object is reduced. So this is the valid option. Does not describe an inelastic collision. Elastic, the difference between the elastic and inelastic collision, that in elastic collision, the kinetic energy will always conserved. So relative speed of approach is equal to relative speed of separation. So that two features describe the elastic collision, option A and option B. Is saying that which one will not describe. So option C will not describe the characteristic of the elastic collision. Question number 11. That question is related with the action and reaction. So the action is backward direction. Certainly the reaction will be in the forward direction. So that was a straightforward and a simple question. Then question number 12. A stone is released from rest and falls a long distance in air. Now air resistance is considerable. So when air resistance was negligible, the acceleration of the free fall will remain same. Now what will happen? The air resistance will act. Air resistance will oppose the motion. The resultant force will decrease. When the resultant force will decrease, then acceleration will also decrease. So option D is the valid option. So this is a repeated question as well. Question number 13. An empty cart is moving along a horizontal track at a constant velocity. So resultant force will be 0. Resistive forces on the cart are negligible, a heavy rock is dropped vertically into the cart. So he is saying that how does the momentum and the kinetic energy of the cart with the rock inside compare with the momentum and kinetic energy of the empty car. Now the horizontal momentum is conserved. There is no change in the horizontal momentum. And we know that kinetic energy, that is equal to momentum square over 2m. So when the mass will increase, then certainly kinetic energy will decrease. Then the next question, question number 14. So this question is related with the forces. The wooden box will try to move in the upward direction. So tension will act in the downward direction. The weight will act in the downward direction. So there are two forces which will act in the downward direction. So a wooden block is held stationary. It means that the forces are balanced. The upward force is equal to the downward force. So the wooden block has a mass m and volume v. The water has density this. Acceleration of free fall is this. What is the magnitude of the force acting due to the tension in the string? So upward force is represented by rho gv. F up must equal to the F down. The reason the object is stationary, object is at rest, forces are balanced. So you can make this expression very easily. So T that is equal to rho gv minus W, and W that is equal to M into G. Now this is the question, one of the repeated question as well. The mass is given, length is given, the angle is given. So what he is saying that what is the moment? So formula for the moment is T that is equal to, if you will resolve this into rectangular component. So this is the perpendicular distance from pivot. So this is not the distance, 0.86 is not the distance which we will consider. So perpendicular distance from pivot, it will become the half because the center of gravity will be 0.43. So we will apply the formula tau that is equal to F into R sine theta. We will apply the formula. The force is given 2.4 into 9.81 because the mass is given, and mass will be converted into force by W equal to mg. So we will get answer 2.6 Newton meter. Question number 16. A block is submerged vertically in a liquid. The flow diagram. This is a repeated question from the PP. So which diagram shows to scale the forces exerted on equal areas of the block by the liquid. This is not possible because the forces are not shown on the sides. This is not possible. The forces having the constant magnitude on the left and right hand side of the block. So this is not valid because the block is completely submerged vertically into the depth, so pressure must be greater. So this diagram will represent the correct option. So for question number 17, this is the definition of the couple. This is not the couple which we will usually see on the roads. This is the couple related with the physics. So the definition of the couple is that it is the product of the perpendicular distance by the forces and the magnitude of the one of the forces. So 17 option B is valid. For question number 18, a ball of mass 1.2 kg travel horizontally with the speed of this. It will hit the cushion, and then after traveling this distance it will stop. So final velocity will be 0. Initial velocity is this. The mass is given. Work done is required. Work done means that energy is required. Energy equal to half mv square. So you will apply the formula, substitute the values, get your answer 5.4 meter. Now for question number 19, a box of mass 4.9 kg is pushed at a constant velocity from point P at the bottom of an inclined plane to the point Q at the top. So we will apply force in this direction. The box will move from point P towards point Q. Now we will resolve these two forces, and then we will get that the component which is along this surface will be mg sine theta. So resolution of vector is really very important. So the slope is inclined at an angle of 20 degree, and height is 5.8. What is the work done against the frictional force on the block between point P and Q? Now the work done is the force into distance. We do not have the distance which is traveled from P to Q. So first we will calculate the distance as well. So now for the P to Q, the information is given. We will apply the trigonometric ratio sine theta, that is equal to 5.8 over QP, and then ultimately we will get 17 meter. So this is the distance which will be traveled along this surface. Then after that, F up, that is equal to F plus mg sine theta. because the object is moving in upper direction, so it is moving with the constant velocity. So final forward force is equal to the backward forces, sum of the backward forces. So F that is equal to 64 minus 4.9 into this, because frictional force is required. So we will make the frictional force as the subject. So the force will be 47.6 Newton. We will apply the formula. We will get the answer option B. So I will encircle this as well. Now which expression will give you the definition of the efficiency? Efficiency is the useful energy output to the total input energy. That is a straightforward question. So now our student has a copper wire and a steel wire of equal length. So L1 equal to L2. Cross-sectional area A1 equal to A2. The student has identical load. So F1 equal to F2. So the extension of the two wires are different. The student calculate the stress, strain and Young's modulus. So which would identify a tick. The calculated value are the work equal for both wires. So stress equal to force over area. So this will remain the same because forces are same, area are same, so stress will remain same. And the wires are different. One of them is the copper and the steel, so Young's modulus will be different. So there will be change in length which will be different. So only the stress will remain same. For question number 22, again this is a question related with the deformation. So the two spring X and Y stretch elastically. The graph is a straight line passing through the origin. The graph shows the variation with the extension force F. For the graph 1 or graph A, we will calculate the value of K, which is equal to 200. The spring constant can be calculated by using F equal to Kx and K equal to F over X. Similarly, we will calculate the value of the spring constant, which is equal to 1600. Now we can write down Ky that is equal to 1600, which is equal to 8 into 200. Now 200 is equal to Kx. So spring constant is 8 times as compared to spring X. So when each spring is given the same extension, the energy stored will be 8 times. After that, the question number 23, which phrase describes the strain in an elastic limit on a stress strain graph? So this is the point that the minimum strain above which the deformation is plastic, because plastic is a region at which the graph will not return back to its original position. Hooke's law says that stress and strain are proportional to each other. For this, and after that, elastic limit, the maximum stress and strain up to which material return to its original shape when the load is removed. Beyond this deformation, plastic behavior will start. So if this object will not move here, the plastic behavior will start. So maximum strain below the Hooke's law will be obeyed. Question number 24. This is a question which is required to draw the diagram for the understanding of the nodes and the anti-node. So open end always has the AN and the between them there will be a node. So a teacher removes the turntable from a microwave oven and places a bar of the chocolate in the oven. She then switches the oven for a short time. A stationary wave is formed. I have drawn the stationary wave with the complete nodes and anti-node. When the chocolate is removed, the teacher observed that there are two small sections of the melted chocolate unmelt. So each section of the melted chocolate AN. So they have given in this question that this is the AN, this is the AN. So between two consecutive AN, the lambda by 2 will be the length. So lambda by 2 equal to 6 centimeter, then lambda that is equal to 12, and V equal to F lambda, and F that is equal to V over lambda. V over lambda. So we will get your answer. So 2.5 gigahertz. Then after that, the sound waves. Now the graph is related with the sound wave. The particles moving from left to right. In sound wave, the particles move like this. So the graph shows the variation of the displacement to the right of the particle in the sound wave with the distance at one instant, which latter represents the center of the compression. Now point A is invalid, point C is invalid. because the particles will move, vibrate up and down while we are dealing the sound wave. They will move to and fro, from left to right, from right to left, and the left side of the B is moving towards right, and the right side of the B is moving towards left. So this is the compression. So explanation that the sound wave is a longitudinal wave, so particle will oscillate back and forth while traveling towards the right. So compression is a region where the particles are crowded together, and rarefaction is a region where the particles are spread out. So a compression will occur where the particles will move towards each other. So on the displacement graph, the corresponding to the point where the displacement crosses each other with a negative gradient. So negative gradient is only at point B. So this is the negative gradient as well. So this will ensure that the option B is the correct option. So a buzzer emitting a sound of frequency 846, velocity is given, then speed of sound is given. We will apply the formula F naught equal to FSV over V minus Vs, and then we will get our answer 930 Hertz. Now question number 27, that is related with the polarization. So the formula for the polarization is I equal to I naught cos square theta. So this is the input and this is the output. So now vertically polarized light intensity I naught is incident normally on a polarizing filter. The transmission axis of the filter is at an angle theta to the plane of the polarization of the light. The intensity of the light after passing through the filter is I naught over 3. So it means that this is the value of output. So output is equal to input over 3. That is given in the question as well. We will apply the formula I equal to I naught cos square theta. So I naught over 3. Then we will get the answer. Only the calculation is required. So 55 degrees the answer. Which statement compares the behavior of the transfer and longitudinal wave? Only the transfer wave be polarized. That is the answer of this question. Because the topic is related with the polarization as well. Okay, now the student uses the diffraction grating to determine the wavelength of the visible light. 30 lines per millimeter. So we are required to calculate D. 300 line in 1 millimeter, or that is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 3. So D that is equal to 1 into 10 power minus 3 over 300. So distance is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 6. Now what is required? Which expression gives the wavelength in meter for the visible light in terms of G? Now the gradient from this graph will be n over sine theta. N over sine theta will be its gradient. D that is equal to n over sine theta. Now we will apply the formula d sine theta equal to n lambda. So d that is equal to n over sine theta. So n over sine theta will replace by G. So we will substitute the value, rearrange the expression, and then we will get the answer. For question number 30, two waves meet. What is not necessary condition for the stationary waves? They must travel in the same direction. What is not required? So in order to generate the stationary wave, they must travel in the opposite direction and overlap each other. So option D is the valid option. Question number 31. Again, the question related with the superposition of the waves. Light of a single wavelength is incident normally, angle is 90 degree, fringes are observed, the screen distance is given, separation is given. Okay, the distance from the double slit to the screen is increased to 0.90. So now what we will do, we will apply formula lambda that is equal to AX by D. Now the wavelength will remain same. So we will compare these two. So A1 X1 over D1, A2 X2 over D2. So now 1.8 over 0.6, A2 into X over 1.5. So now X is required to be calculated. So the answer will be 4.5 millimeter. So that is the answer for this question. Now question number 32, a wire is made from a metal of constant resistivity. So there is a constant current in the wire. Which statement about the potential difference is correct? So now R equal to rho L over A, R equal to V over I. In the question he is saying that the constant resistivity. So it is directly proportional to the length of the wire. So potential difference is directly proportional to the length of the wire. Resistivity is same, the diameter is same, the current is same because constant resistivity. So only the potential difference depend on the length of the wire. Then again, a very simple question, three components. So this graph is for the ohmic conductor, this graph is for the diode. So which object will obey the Ohm's law on a straight line only, that is passing through the origin for the IV graph. So option D is the valid option. 34, the resistance is 200 ohm. Voltage is given. How many electron will transfer? V equal to IR, V equal to Q by T, and Q equal to Vn over T into R. So you will apply the formula, you will get number of particles. So you have to make the formula by using the V equal to IR, then I equal to Q by T, then Q equal to Ne over T. Now question number 35. The diagram shows the internal resistance 1.0 connected to a variable resistor. So this is a tricky question. So when the variable resistor has initial value of 2.0 R, the current in the cell is I1 and the terminal PD is this. The variable resistor is now adjusted to 4. What is the new current in the cell and the new terminal PD of the cell? Now the answer is 0.61. So what we have to do? We have to do a lot of calculation for this question. What we will do? The EMF is represented by E. Then the small internal resistance will be represented by small r. This is the current and this is the resistance R, which is a variable resistor. Now the total voltage E that is equal to V1 plus V2. So voltage will divide into two parts. So E that is equal to I into R plus small r. Similarly, we can write down I1 equal to E over R1 plus R, and then I2 that is equal to E over R2 plus R. So we will make these two expressions because two currents are required. I2, the value of I2 is required. So now what we will do? We will calculate the ratio of I2 over I1. What is the new current in the cell and what is the new current in the cell? Okay. So now what we will do? I2 over I1, we will make an expression. So R1 plus R over R2 plus R, because E will be cancelled out with each other. And then now V2 over V1, that is equal to V equal to IR, I2 into R2 over I1 into R1. Now we will substitute the value. We will substitute the value in this expression. We will calculate I2 over I1. So this is the value of the R1, which is given here. Then small r is equal to 1 ohm, that is given, and I1 for this and this. So I will substitute the values, rearrange the values, and then I will calculate the current, which is equal to 3.5, and then I2 will be value of this. So I2 is equal to 0.61. So I will substitute the value, use this formula in order to calculate I2, and by using this value of I2, then I will again substitute this value and then I will get the voltage. So 12 divided by 10 will gives us 1.2. So you have to solve this question by making the formula, then substitute the formula, then resubstitute the formula in the voltage as well. Now for question number 36, the diagram shows a repeated question. 4 terminal boxes connected to a battery and the 2 ammeters. The current in the 2 ammeter are identical. It means that they must be connected in a series. A very simple question. So this is the parallel. This is the parallel. If you will place it over here, then it will not give you the same current. So I will raise it. So only the option D is the valid option, because when the object will be placed at this point, then only the one path for the flow of current, and that is a series combination. So 37, after that 37 question is first law of Kirchhoff first law. The algebraic sum of the current ending to a junction is 0, and it states or it holds with the law of conservation of charge. Then the question number 38, two neutral atoms of the isotopes. Isotope has different number of neutrons but same number of protons. Then what is the composition of meson? Meson, a quark which consists of one quark and the one anti-quark. So lepton and hadron. Hadrons have two other types, and meson consists of one quark and one anti-quark. And now this is the question which required to make an equation. So carbon 6 and 5 neutron. So this is the atom of the carbon 6, 11, it will emit beta positive emission. So final will be 5y11, and then after that 5 proton and then 6 neutron. So one proton consists of UUD, so 5 proton 10U and 5D, and 1 neutron equal to UDD, so 6U and 12D, and we will add up them all the U 10 plus 6 16 and 12 plus 5 17. So stay tuned for the next paper. Stay blessed. Take care. Bye bye. Join my channel. Refer it to your friends. The Trains Academy.